we're going to try to block out that whole street and maybe take the workforce development program to West Philly next, right? That would be the third councilmanic district, and then we'll go southwest to the second. So we have plans to do this as much as we can. Faith, Health, and Community, the Philly Muslim Wellness Project. There's a three-part initiative: health education, then we're going to fitness and nutrition, and then we're going to have a health fair. We started off with the health, with the education piece. We did that out in Southwest at Futa Islamic Center. If you don't know where that is, that's at 71st and Buist. Big West African community at 71st and Buist. We went out there, we did some work with them out there. So next we might go up to the northeast, or we might take it to a masjid right here on Broad Street. So we are seeing where we're going to go next with that. So look out for the dates and those things. If you look around the room, before you leave, if you're not on my mailing list already, that blue board with the QR code, please sign that to join the mailing list for my office before you leave, right? Looking forward. And then I promise you I'm done and happy that I can speak. But I need to know what we are planning to do, right? So, C-Touch P. That first idea there came to me like the day before Ramadan started. You know, for us as Muslims, every Ramadan you get 30 by 30, and like everyone wants to do a thing 30 days. So I was like, alright, what can I do that connects the resources of the city to the Philadelphia community? So in my mind I was like, let's be ambitious and start this tomorrow, the first day of Ramadan. I have the idea, I have it mapped out, I think I know where I want to go with it, but then I was like, no, I'm not doing that because I have these two events that were coming up with the first week. So this is my goal. My goal is to take something from each part, each juz, each 30th of the Quran that deals with public service and interview an employee within the city of Philadelphia, Muslim, around how that service connects to improving the life of Philadelphians. How does that sound? I was inspired. I was like, this sounds good, right? So that's what I'm going to try to launch before the end of Ramadan. I'm going to try to launch that before the end of Ramadan, inshallah. So Mubarak, you know you're on my list, alright? Yeah, with the youth, fine. Alright, I have you there. So if you are in a service that you touch or you provide a service to the general constituency in the city of Philadelphia, make sure that you speak with me, because my task is to figure out how to connect your work with what we're having being done inside the city of Philadelphia. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to respond to your last statement. You could call me directly and I'll be most beneficial to the whole Islam.
So I'm going to stop you right now because it seems as though you're going to start running off and saying stuff.
Without a doubt. Allah is patient. You do know that.
Yes, He is patient.
All I'm saying is, right? We have shahada. Yeah, listen. You ask, now I'm giving you directly what you should do is Google my name, and then peace reigns on planet Earth. That simple. It's that easy.
We're going to pause here, right?
All is well. Go ahead. I yield, beloved.
So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring the Philly Halal Food Festival to the city of Philadelphia. We know right now it's been in Feasterville. We are working actively to get that to come into the city of Philadelphia. Just today I got an email as to how to move that forward, so we are really looking to make that happen. This one I need some help with. Masjid plus 3 blocks, April to May. So we know that Mayor Parker has this idea, has this vision of a cleaner Philadelphia. As Muslims, we believe in cleanliness 100%. So what I want here is, starting in April, the masjid and 3 blocks out. And what our goal is to clean the masjid block and 3 blocks out. Why 3? We just love 3. Right? I could have gone with 7, 5, but 3 is the sunnah, so I went out with 3. So the masjid plus 3 is a catchy title. We'll run with it for now, right? But that's the goal. The goal is the masjid and 3 blocks out, that's what we're going to clean. And if we have 70 masajid in Philadelphia, it means that we could do a lot of cleaning in the city of Philadelphia. So if you're affiliated with a masjid, please take this back to your masjid and tell them to look out for when this is going to get launched. The city is going to provide the supplies for the cleaning. Right? So we're going to work with Clean and Green. We're going to work with the city resources to provide the supplies for cleaning. We just need to provide the labor. And this is also a good way to connect with our neighbors if we haven't done so already. Because we would have disturbed them a lot for Ramadan. Right? With the double parking for Tarawih and stuff like that in the neighborhood. So this would be a nice thing to do right after that, inshallah. We have the Muslim Mental Health Seminar, May 30th, Muslim Business Summit. Brother Salim, thank you very much for pushing that along. So we're going to have a 3-day summit focused on Muslim businesses. How to get started, how to scale, and how to sustain. Right? We're going to bring all of the resources out to really help. So if you know someone who's in business, tell them to look out for that for us as well. I've been tasked with doing a citywide Eid. As someone who in the past, right, we've organized the citywide Eids for a few years, so it's back, man. It's coming back. So we're doing this in conjunction with the Majlis Ashura, inshallah, and it's going to be for Eid al-Adha, because we just have a longer runway. Once we know when the month starts, we know when the Eid will be. We have at least a good 10 days to do some final planning as opposed to Eid al-Fitr, when it's a bit more immediate. So we're going to do that for Eid al-Adha. I spoke about the faith health education and the newsletter. So these are just some of the things that we expect to be coming up out of this office and the commission in the next few months. How are you feeling about these things? So, I had this interactive activity where we'd find out how many years you're in the city of Philadelphia and all that type of stuff. I was using poll everywhere to do that. In the interest of time, I'm going to leave that for a few minutes and start bringing up some of our speakers, because you're right at the 5:50 mark. So we're going to bring up some of our speakers. The person who I had designated to do the opening supplication, the opening recitation, he got sick. That was Imam Idris Abdul Zahir. He got sick. He did have 400 people in the masjid last night, so that's understandable, right? So he's unable to make it today. So I will start off the program at this point in time with the recitation of Surutal Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. And the translation of that is, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the master of the day of judgment. The master of the day of judgment. You alone do we worship, and your aid alone do we seek. Show us the straight path, the path of those on whom you have bestowed your grace, not the path of those who don't earn your anger or who go astray. So that chapter is an oft-repeated chapter in the Quran that we often hear, and Muslims recite that many times during the day. So at this point in time, I would like to invite I would like to invite Ms. Candy Jones, the Assistant Deputy Commissioner for Human Resources. And I got a signal that I shouldn't call the person who is with her. So I'm going to say that.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I am certainly honored to be a part. I'm happy to be invited. My name is Candy Jones. I'm currently the Chief Human Resources Officer for the City of Philadelphia. So I'm responsible for the Office of Human Resources that's responsible for navigating through the civil service application and testing processes and employee benefits. So I'm certainly happy to be here. Ramadan is a time of reflection, gratitude, and community. A time to focus on kindness, generosity, and supporting one another. These are values that resonate strongly within our organization, where we strive and work to build an inclusive and respectful workplace for everyone. This gathering is a reflection of the commitment to celebrating diverse cultures, religion, and traditions that make our workplace stronger. By coming together, we learn from each other and build a deep sense of unity and certainly respect. Your commitment to both your faith and to your work is truly admirable and enriches our community. Wishing you all peace, joy, and fulfillment through this blessed month and beyond. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate the invitation.
All right, so thank you very much, Candy. No, I was saying thank you to Candy, and then I was just raising my eyebrows to see if I should ask you to come up and introduce him. It's not an intrusion, it's an invitation. So, this is Camille Luchose, the Chief Administrative Officer for the City of Philadelphia.
Good afternoon, everyone, and again, thank you for inviting me and letting me be a part of your celebration and your recognition of Ramadan. I would just echo the sentiments from Candy Jones that together we are better, stronger, more efficient, and we make a workplace that is the model, right? We are creating the vision for an employer of choice. And so I very much appreciate Kaiser's invitation. I'm sorry I was not expecting to speak to you all today, but very happy to be with you today and hope that you think of the Office of the CAO and the Office of Human Resources as places where we are supportive. You can come to us if you have any questions, any concerns, and then again, we build a workplace that is representative of all of the communities that are within the City of Philadelphia. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Camille. I know when I see you in the courtyard, you're going to remind me of what I did. And Camille is also from Trinidad, so I needed to. So with that being said, the next person I'm going to invite up to speak is Ms. Brandy Anderson, the Chief Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Officer in the Mayor's Office. Brandy?
Good evening, everyone. Ramadan Mubarak. It is truly an honor to be here with you tonight as we come together not just to break our fast, but also to celebrate the strength and faith and dedication of our incredible colleagues and residents across the city. I first want to thank Dr. Kaiser Abdullah and the Mayor's Office of Muslim Engagement for organizing this event. And thank you so much, Kaiser, for your leadership in fostering the community that we need so big right now, and ensuring the city government is a place where all employees feel valued, supported, and seen. Philadelphia has long been a proud, as I'm sure we all know, Philadelphia has a long, proud history of Muslim leadership, and many of you are a part of this legacy. Our city is home to one of the most vibrant Muslim communities in the country, one that spans generations, cultures, and backgrounds. Black Muslims in particular have played an essential role in shaping Philadelphia's civic, social, and economic landscape. From advocacy and education to public service and business, Black Muslims have led efforts for justice, economic empowerment, and community self-determination. And we see the same spirit reflected in the work of so many of you who serve the city with dedication, passion, and purpose. But we know that service alone isn't enough. It is our responsibility as a city to ensure that every employee and every resident, regardless of their faith, race, gender, or background, has a workplace in the city that is inclusive, equitable, and affirming. We also know that DEI is facing some external challenges. But let's be clear. The City of Philadelphia is staying the course. The work of equity is not optional, and it's not a trend. It's a commitment to fairness, access, and opportunity. Making sure that everyone here has an opportunity to thrive. This means ensuring religious accommodations like prayer spaces and flexible scheduling, something that I'll be working closely with Candy and Camille on. It also means ensuring that we have leadership pipelines so that we have representation of our community throughout city government. It means uplifting the voices of our diverse workforce and ensuring that our government reflects the people. One of the ways that we're doing this is through our city resource groups, spaces where employees can connect, advocate, and build community. So one of my priorities for this year is to be working closely with Kaiser to establish a city resource group, or a CRG for short, specifically for Muslim employees. The way that the city can develop policy that is inclusive and does reflect the needs of our population is by hearing from you all. So I encourage you to work with us to get the CRG set up and become a part of it for those of you who are working for the city. So you can make your voices and your experiences known and making sure that the city of Philadelphia is meeting your needs. So as we break bread together tonight, let this be more than just a meal. Let it be a reaffirmation of our commitment to each other, to the values that unite us, and to building a city workforce where everyone is respected and empowered. Thank you for your service, your leadership, and your commitment to Philadelphia. Ramadan Kareem.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Brandy. And in terms of the CRG that Brandy mentioned, right? Some of you were on a CRG initiation meeting that we had, I think, about 3 weeks ago. How many of you in this room were on that meeting? Halim, Mabari, what's your name? Amira? What? Okay, Sister Amira. Right, so we had that initial meeting, and you heard from Brandy herself that is something that is critical in how we actually establish collective identity within the city of Philadelphia. So before you leave, if you're interested in joining the CRG or being on that list, please let me know so that when we have the next meeting, I can make sure that you're invited. And this is open to any city employee. Now, one thing I want to say before I bring up Brother Hassan Freeman, one thing I want to say is this. Any committee, before I bring up Senator Surutal and then Brother Hassan, sorry. Any committee that I'm working with, we work. So if you put your name on that CRG list, know that we are going to work. Alright, so I look forward to working with you. I'm going to invite State Senator Sharif Street up to the podium to say a few words. Senator Street.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan, God.
You know, it is good to see so many people engaged in service who are here today, and the fact that we get a chance to celebrate. You know, in the Quran it's written, in order for Allah to change the condition of the people, they must first be willing to change themselves. As Muslims, in a city where we're increasingly representative of the mainstream of the population, the days when we were a small fringe group have far distant memory. Today we represent, in many communities, the majority religion. And it's certainly a significant chunk of Philadelphia. If we want to change the conditions that we see in our communities, we have to be engaged. We have to be involved. I applaud Mayor Parker for her efforts and for her creating the Mayor's Office of Muslim Engagement. We have made significant progress over the years in the city of Philadelphia. I remember when I was talking with Councilman Jones, and it was just an idea that children would give off for the Eid holiday. The holidays were recognized. Now the schools are shut down and they're more uniformly recognized. There was a time when people didn't question the legitimacy of our religion, and when we didn't necessarily believe in participating in the government. I remember being confronted some number of years ago when I was trying to get people engaged in voting, and they said, well, I don't believe in the Catholic society, as they said. I don't want to participate. I asked the person, I said, do you pay taxes? So I did. I said, if there's a stoplight, do you stop the light? I said, if the authorities put on the flashing lights behind you, do you pull your car over? I said, of course. I said, well, you've already submitted to the jurisdiction of this country, and there's nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, sure, Mayor wants to suggest that we have an obligation to be engaged in self-governance in the place that we are. And voting is just one part of it. It is being engaged in the delivery of services. It is making sure that when people have health concerns, that they are met. It is making sure that when people go to any of the various agencies and departments, they see faces that are welcome. And when you are a part of that government, you can talk to your colleagues who may be non-Muslims about how they service the community in a more culturally responsible way as well. So I thank you, all of you, for your service. I'm privileged and honored to serve, to be the first Muslim to serve as a member of the Pennsylvania Senate. Inshallah, not the last. As my wife and I celebrate, along with all of you, this month of Ramadan, we reflect not only, and April's here, not only do we reflect on the life that we lead, but we have 5 children and 6 grandchildren. Think about what is the impact we want to have in the world that they will live in. While there are those, particularly some that fool in Washington and others, who are talking about making us a less inclusive society, we all know that our diversity is a strength. And certainly, when people talk about the diversity and the strength of the society that exists in the city of Philadelphia, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and indeed across the United States of America, Muslims must be a part of that conversation. And when we do it, we must make sure that we build a better society, not only for all Muslims, but for all people. Because truly, if we are to live out and want to change the condition of our people, we must start with changing ourselves, being engaged in the process. I thank you all for being here. May Allah make your fast easy, and may He continue to bless us in our journey. Assalamu alaikum.
So folks, none of the work that we do would be possible without the work, the foundation that has been laid by key individuals like Senator Sharif Street. I am not doing, in this space here, I'm not the first person to work on behalf of Muslims. I'm standing on the shoulders of people who have done the work and continue to do the work. So thank you once again very much, Senator Street, for all of the work that you do in the community, and again, not just for Muslims, but for everyone in the city of Philadelphia. I'm going to invite up Brother Hassan Freeman, who is the Director of Neighborhood and Constituency Engagement in the Mayor's Office. Brother Freeman.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wow.
I'm Barak. I'm never good at these presentations up in front of people. You know, I'm a little shy, so I gotta forgive me. But I don't think that the truth need a script, so I think it'll flow a little bit easy. The mayor's vision was one that you could see, touch, and feel. You know, a government that you could see, touch, and feel. And she understood that in Philadelphia, the Muslim population is strong, it's large, right? And she knew that it wouldn't be complete, that government wouldn't be complete if we weren't at the table. She demonstrated that by making me the director of the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood and Community Engagement, and at the same time creating an office specifically designed to bring us to the table. And I gotta commend Kaiser, who's done a phenomenal job. Just look at this diverse group of Muslims here, whose mission is to make sure that all of us are represented, all of us. He's actually advocating for brothers and sisters to be able to pray in school. We, with the senator, we're this close to making sure that become a reality. So again, I just want to say I appreciate the opportunity to lead this great office along with Kaiser, and I look forward to bringing to fruition a lot of the things and the changes that we as Muslims, you know, wish to see. Assalamu alaikum.
Wow. Alaikum salam.
All right. The mayor got caught in Harrisburg, so may not be joining us as far as the last update that I got. But I have a few more folks who I'm going to invite up to speak. I'm going to modify the program a bit. Some of the rest of the speakers who we're going to speak later, I'm going to invite them up to speak now. Then we're going to do the tabletop activity. I have Council Member Nina Ahmed and Commissioner Omar Subir, who are supposed to be coming more like after the 6:30 hour. I think Commissioner Omar Subir is flying in from somewhere. So I'll have Brother Omar Salam, Brother Salim Wilson speak. Then we'll move into the tabletop activity where I can get some feedback from you. That should take us right up to the time where Council Member Nina Ahmed and Commissioner Omar Subir should be here. We have them speak, we wrap up, and we break fast. Sounds good? That's the vision I have for what's going to happen next. So I'm going to invite my brother Omar Salam up to the podium.
Good evening, everybody. When I just want to correct something, when I was introduced earlier, I was introduced from my previous position as president of the Constitution. I no longer serve in that position. I currently serve as the director of strategic initiatives for the sanitation department. And I'm actually glad you put it up because any needs, any ones that you guys have as far as clean, green sanitation, I can help that. I want to be a support with that, absolutely. I remember it was like when I started the job 26 years ago, I remember how hard it was just to go to Big Friday prayer. And now I have, this mayor has someone who actually cares and understands and actually gives us the resources we need. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I want to be a part of working towards establishing the Ed days and everything that's going on. I would love to see Islamic curriculum and history instituted in public schools, charter schools throughout the city of Philadelphia. But one thing that I really want to talk about, one thing that I really want to be a part of, is heavy on my heart, is I want to be a part of saving these young brothers, right? Because when I was growing up as a kid in West Philly, being Muslim meant something. Like, we didn't harm each other, we didn't hurt each other, we loved each other. We are having way too many genazes. Way too many. And the unfortunate part about it, the laws and creeds that we're born, we're going to die, we accept that, we know that. But to see so many of our young brothers and now our sisters leaving here early, and then the sad reality of it is, sometimes when it's happening, the person on the other side is also Muslim. We gotta be real about what's going on in our neighborhoods and our communities, and we gotta fix that. And so for any resource that I can be as far as helping to get out here and save and reach and talk to you brothers, that's what I want to be a part of. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry about the miscommunication that I wrote previously. And thank you for reminding me of the safety piece. I didn't have it in the list of things, but one of the things that we attempted to do last year into this year was to create a safe corridor thing where we would actually have the Muslims in the Masajid train to create a safe corridor from southwest all the way up to northeast, right? We had this big vision of how we would get that done. The resources that we were looking for to get it done did not materialize how we hoped it would materialize. However, it is still one of the biggest things on our priority list, right? Because safety in the city of Philadelphia has to be the number one priority. And when we usually think of safety, we think of violence reduction, right? I want to really underscore what Brother Omar said, right? It's about saving lives and really helping our young brothers make different choices, right? And giving them that opportunity to do things differently. Just before I bring Salim up, I'll say one last thing on this. A couple of years ago, I was fortunate enough to be part of a study among the youth in Philadelphia. And one of the things that they found in terms of what gives youth hope, right? Because what we're seeing is a lot of hopelessness, right? The choice that they're making is a result of hopelessness and not seeing a different path forward. One of the things that we saw in that research study that we did, that to a person, the thing that made a difference in their lives was someone with whom they could connect directly. Call it parenting, call it whatever you want to call it. It was someone with whom they connected, who in the middle of the night, if there was somewhere that was dangerous for them, they could call that person, and that person would show up, pick them up, and then give them a lecture sometimes. Sometimes they'll take the lecture, and sometimes they just don't need it. Sometimes they just need someone that they can call on when they made a bad decision.